Welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
Good morning, and what is up, gang?
Oh, man. It's that new set smell in the air.
That's right. New set smell. Tastes like Coke Zero and Cheetos. That's pretty much all I eat and drink while I'm sitting here playing Hearthstone.
Wow. So, yeah, we've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk a little bit about the news, and then we're going to get back into the hero power swing of things, and we've got a deck lined up for you this afternoon, or this morning, that you'll see in the second half of the show. Super excited. Can't wait to get back to playing some decks on the show.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like reviewing cards and all, but playing the decks is where it's at.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. And we do have some decent news this week, but we haven't played a game on the show in a few weeks, so let's get to it.
Yeah. All right. So, without further ado, let's just jump right into the news. As we mentioned, Saviors of Uldum is here. Released on August the 6th, which was this past Tuesday. We finally got to dig in and get our hands on it and start playing it. So, let's just talk about it for a minute. Zerotio, what are your first impressions of the set now that you've seen it fully out there in the wild?
So I didn't get to play that many decks. I think I've only played about 24 or 26 different decks. If you didn't catch it, that's sarcasm. I have played a lot of Hearthstone. It's all over the place, which I love. I mean, I'm obviously sitting at the rank 5 floor. Well, now I'm not. I actually had a good run last night. I'm at rank 4. But it's frustrating, but in a good way. Because it's like, the minute I think I got things figured out, then all of a sudden, the meta literally changes in my little block of players. It's like aggro, let me switch to my control, and then, mage. Okay, well, I need to switch over again. Let me go to priest, and then back to aggro, or back to these weird janky stuff. Somebody actually pulled off a Mecha'thun Druid combo on me, which I thought was dead because Naturalize is gone. But no. The trick is, and I copied this guy's deck afterwards because I got to see the whole deck off HS Replay. He plays, at the very end, Mecha'thun. I'm like, okay, why did he just play Mecha'thun? He has cards in his hand. So I kill it. Like, okay, killed it. Well, he plays a few more cards, more removal, whatnot. And then all of a sudden he plays Mecha'thun again, but instead it's the flute version. He's a 3/4. And then he bees it. So you exhaust your entire deck until you have nothing but Mecha'thun and Flute are the only minions. So you just play Mecha'thun as a 10/10. Your Flute becomes Mecha'thun, and then you exhaust all other spells in your hand until you have nothing but the Flute version of Mecha'thun and bees, and you win.
Wow.
It was amazing. I loved it. I was so excited.
Wow.
So I tried it and failed miserably a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I was playing Control Warrior when he was playing against me, so it's probably one of those decks you save when you know Control Warrior is definitely the meta at the time. But seeing these type of decks is what excites me. All the OTK potentials, just the combos, just the neat things that happen. Synergies you don't expect. So many Zephyrus wins, but I'll get back to that later. This might be the most fresh I remember a set being since Knights of the Frozen Throne.
Nice.
A year ago.
Nice. Well, unfortunately, I've not had as much time to spend with the set as you have. So for those of you who may not have heard, last week, right before the show, on Saturday, I got really sick, and I've been recuperating ever since. Basically, I've been laid up in bed. You think, hey, that's the perfect time to play Hearthstone. Yeah, well, not when you're not 100% coherent and on antibiotics. So I've not actually had a chance to a lot of time to spend playing the set yet. I did finally on Thursday or Friday get around to opening my packs, seeing what I got, out of there. I ended up opening about 70, 75 packs, give or take. And I pulled some of the cards I really, really wanted, but I'm still missing quite a few of the key legendaries and cards needed to build some of these decks. So I'm going to be working on that over the course of the next week and a half. But so far, I'm absolutely loving everything I'm seeing, everything I'm reading on social media about this set. It seems like it's really reinvigorated the community, and I find that really exciting.
Yeah, and I will say this. There is one negative about this set, and maybe it could be considered a positive because of the quality of the cards. But this set has some of the most impactful legendaries and epics. Now, normally we expect legendaries to be impactful because that makes you want to craft them. But these decks have a lot of epics in them. So I'm having a hard time convincing myself to craft epics because obviously the investment into the legendaries this early in the set. So that's the only negative I can give, but to me that's not really a full negative because that just tells me these are good quality cards. I do worry that we're going to run into a situation where these cards dominate the meta over the next 2 years. There are some very key elements in this set. Now the big part is they're Highland. A lot of the key elements are in Highlander or Singleton decks. So it could be that Singleton decks aren't fully supported over the next year, and they kind of get watered down to the point they're not worth playing, which would be, in a sense, it balancing itself over time. But we'll just have to see. I'm really excited. My question for you is, are there any cards in this set from your limited time playing that you think we got really right or really wrong when we did our Hero Power patron or Hero Power spreadsheet rating?
Well, and I think obviously this kind of leads into the next section we were going to talk about, but we have to kind of address the impact of Zephrys.
Yeah.
Because that card, I've seen a lot of people post on different social media groups, does Saviors of Uldum have a Ziliax level card? And the answer is yes, and I think it's Zephrys. And it's one of those that it's a neutral card that can pretty much go in any deck you build. Just like Ziliax, it's versatile and can be used any multitude of ways. And I just think I think everybody in our group pretty much saw that. They rated it well.
No.
Okay.
No. So I got it right, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you got it right. I rated it a 4. You decided you wanted to put your name way far in the end. Oh, I don't think you got the rating that one.
I know I did.
But Matt at Arms rated this a 2, so I want to call Matt at Arms out. And I think he was justified at the time because we didn't know the mechanics completely,
behind
exactly what it
Zephrys,
took, what it took into play, and when we did the rating, we did it after it was revealed.
Yeah.
And then it was before the theory crafting sessions and the theory crafting streams they had, where a couple of the devs actually explained more behind it, and we got to see it in play. So I could understand the trepidation in rating this card high. Now, you said something interesting, that it can go in just about every deck, but it also has the restriction of a singleton. However, I'm seeing this card put in a lot of late game decks that aren't singleton.
Yes.
And furthermore, you would think singleton, that's going to be limited to the 4 explorer classes, which are mage, druid, hunter, and paladin. Well, that's not true either. I'm actually seeing singleton priest decks. I have seen singleton rogue decks, and I've seen singleton warrior decks just so they can play Zephrys.
Yeah, I think any deck that, as you said, goes late game, so your control classes, like you just named, warrior and rogue, some of those, this card fits in really well with.
Yeah, and I'm playing as a singleton hunter right now, and literally I'm whittling away my opponent. And one problem that decks like that have is your opponent can stall you at like 3 or 4 health, put up a wall, put up a way to keep you from getting additional incremental damage, and pretty much stop your complete game plan. You won't be able to Leroy or whatever it is you're trying to do. Your hero power is being negated by either an armor up or something like that. Well, you pop Zephrys down, and he says, "Oh, you need a fireball? Here, bro. Here's a fireball." And you're good. Or, hey, you need a silence? Yeah, no problem. Now, one thing it did not do is it didn't take into account some of the board states. Now, let's explain what Zephrys does specifically. Zephrys is a 2-mana 3/2 minion. Battlecry, if your deck has no duplicates, wish for the perfect card. The question is, what's the perfect card? What it does is that it takes the board state from a neutral standpoint into account. So it's going to look at number of minions and type of minions on the board. It's going to look at hand size, deck size, life totals, things both players can see, whether there's a secret in play, things like that. Not necessarily what those things are, because it obviously can't see it. Well, they made some bug fixes that it wasn't taking certain things into account. It wasn't accounting Divine Shield properly. It also wasn't handling poisons properly. And it also wasn't considering 0 attack minions, specifically Doomsayer. So one of the biggest complaints was somebody had a Doomsayer in play. They were trying to play Zephrys to get Crazed Alchemist to flip it and kill it. Well, it wasn't doing that. Well, I had this situation last night, and it did, since the bug fix, it did take that into account. And furthermore, it taught Zephrys how Doomsayer works. Now, they did say, as a rule, they don't plan to teach Zephrys about individual card mechanics and interactions because they want it to kind of be a little dumb. They don't want it to be like a perfect AI. However, they made a one-time exception because they have a less than perfect offerings from Zephrys when trying to find answers around Doomsayer. So they wanted to make sure it knew what Doomsayer was and how it was as a card. This is a good change. I think it makes it even stronger. And this card is going to be one of the most loved and hated cards because it's one of those where you're like, oh, I'm finally out of the woods. I locked my opponent out. And then he just Zephrys and gets the answer that he needs. It's not in his deck. Now, the card that it gives you is only going to be from the basic and the classic set. So it is limited. But basic and classic set has Lava Burst, Lava Burst, Polymorph, Fireball. I mean, it's just so many answers. Savage Roar, that's my favorite to hit him with. I'm loving Zephrys, and it's a lot of fun. Now, there were a couple ones like Colossus of the Moon. It's been in a lot of decks, and I rated it a 1. I think our whole community rated it a 1. Not a lot of people liked it. Armageddillo was rated pretty low by our community and myself. And it's in Control Warrior, but I think I opened it, but then I dusted it to make another legendary because I opened it in Golden, and I think it's kind of a flash in the pan. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's as good as people think it is. But ultimately, the quests have all been really good. The Shaman quest is tearing it up right now.
I got lucky and I opened the Shaman quest. Oh. So I got the Priest quest as my freebie, and then I opened the Shaman quest, the Warlock quest, and the Warrior quest.
Nice. The Shaman quest's really good. I rated it high. Men at Arms didn't. Now the Priest quest, I think majority of our community rated it a 5, and it definitely is a 5.
Yeah.
Now I rated High Priest Amet as a 6, and I think I could have just done a 5 because maybe it just isn't coming out yet, or maybe it's because of the amount of taunts that are in the meta right now that can be brought back by Reborn and whatnot, but that OTK combo isn't as oppressive as I thought it was going to be. Anka, I rated a 6, and it hardly is seeing play right now. I've played with it and done pretty good with it, but ultimately it's not being abused yet, but I think it's just a matter of time. I also rated the Untapped Potential, the Druid quest, as a 1. I was wrong. That quest is sick, and you could almost guarantee, if you play it right, getting it on turn 4 or 5, depending if you have the coin. 4 if you have the coin, 5 if you don't. And then once that quest is online, you have such a huge tempo advantage over your opponent. It's ridiculous.
So I've played very few games this week, and most of the games I've played against have been the Druid, people playing the Druid quest, and people playing the Warlock quest. I mean, that just seems like all I ran into in the few games I did get to play.
Yeah, and Hidden Oasis I rated a 1 too, mainly because I didn't think the quest would be that good. And, you know, the biggest problem with the quest, Druid, is that you lose tempo so bad those first 4 or 5 turns. But to be able to turn around on turn 6 and to put up a 6/6 taunt to stop the onslaught and heal your face for 12 to regain that tempo and put yourself back at equality with your opponent, to then turn around and just dominate with cards like Oasis Surger that are 2 at that point are 2 5/5 rush minions. This is it's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
really been pretty crazy.
Really good.
You know, we had talked when we were doing the review. We had talked about Superior Archaeology, the Warlock quest, and the having to draw 20 cards. And you know, how many cards do you have left once you complete the quest? Well, you know, I was one of the very first games I played post release was against a quest lock, and he completed it turn 5 with back-to-back plot twists, and I was just blown away because then he's drawing free cards, you know, and I'm just like, okay, all right, I get it, I see.
The trick is you're power drawing all the way up to turn 5.
Yeah.
So on turn 5 you're drawing your 10th card in your hand. And then you play the plot twist, which then shuffles those 9 cards into your deck, drawing you 9 more. And then the next turn you can do it again, or you can do that 4 and 5. And that right there is 18 cards. And so you're completing the quest. It's possible. The deck still is getting fleshed out. I did try it on day 1 because I tried pretty much everything I could make with my collection. And I opened both legendaries for Warlock. And the plot twist was fun and good, and I liked it. But then I switched over to Zoo. I am playing a Crypts version. I'm playing a lot of Crypts decks because he made a really good, easy to read list of decks. And I'm playing a Mecha Zoo. It's Zoo Warlock with a Lackey synergy, which in my opinion isn't a Zoo, but you know, that's another argument. But it has Mechathune in it. Because one of the biggest downfalls of Zoo is you get choked out late game and you run out of resources and you can't finish them off. So you just keep Mechathune and Plague of Flames in your hand, and you throw 1 Galvanizer out during the game, so your Mechathune's 9 mana. And then when they've got you completely choked out, you just throw down Mechathune and
Plague of
Flames and win the game. And I've won a lot of games that way.
All right, I'll have to check out that deck list. All right, so basically this first week has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to playing some more decks on the show. You know, we've got a fun one lined up this week. It is a Crypt deck. It's actually Zoo Quest Priest, so make sure you stick around for the second half of the show, or you check it out on YouTube. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Moving on in the news, we have the new Superstars of Chinese Hearthstone blog. Basically, 23-year-old VK Lion made history last week, becoming the first female to qualify for the Hearthstone Global Finals with her win at the Gold Open Tianjin Masters Group Season 1 playoffs.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
And further down in the article, it actually talks about 27-year-old TG Yershar that is also qualified for Masters Tour Seoul. So this is a great article. We're not going to go into every little bit of it, but please take the time. It's in our show notes to read this article. Yeah, it really highlights not only Chinese Hearthstone, but the dominance of female players in Chinese Hearthstone right now, which is huge for the world.
Yeah,
especially the Hearthstone community.
I think TG Yershar says it best. She has one simple sentiment, and it's just forget your gender and do it.
Yes,
when getting involved in esports.
That is so empowering. And here's the thing that really gets me, and it doesn't go into a lot of detail in the article over this fact, but when you see competitive players in Hearthstone in the United States and in Europe and in South America, they're going through these huge, grueling tournaments of 250 to 350 players to take the top spot to qualify for these limited seats in these Masters Tours. That's not the case in China. These China Gold Series, they compete in a pool of 1,500 players.
Yep.
They're put in satellite groups. They have to top 8 those satellite groups to then go into a larger pool of, like, I think it's 350 players, to then break that down even further. And these are single elimination tournaments, not Swiss. So then they finally get into their into the top group, which is the 64, and then it gets into double elimination. So there's no room for error. And who knows how many games with 1,500 players. It's ridiculous. And that tells me these Chinese players know their stuff. And note, I didn't say female Chinese players. These Chinese players, period, regardless of gender, know their stuff in Hearthstone. And to see these two young ladies come out as the cream of the crop, they're to be feared. And not only in Masters Tour Seoul, but going into the Worlds, where we're going to see VK Lion play.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited, and who knows? We might even see Yashar play there too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how she does in Master Soul, and we haven't really seen Lion much in the limelight at all. Though she does admit in the article that she is a grinder, and she grinds the ladder for top finishes every single month. She considers herself a grinder. So I'm excited to see her in Seoul. She's going to be one of the names I watch.
Yep, I'm excited for it too. Speaking of Seoul, they've announced Twitch drops will be back and available for Masters Tour Seoul, which is coming up very quickly. In fact, it starts this week. Yeah, this Thursday, August the 15th. And it will run through the 18th. So it looks like it's going to run 6 p.m. Is that 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Pacific Standard? Oh.
It is 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time.
Yeah.
To 1 p.m. the next day.
Oh, wow. 19 hours.
Streams.
Holy cow. And here I thought that was a typo.
For 3 straight days. So
wow.
Ending at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which is going to be 4 p.m. our time on the 18th. Now, the thing to note is obviously I'm going to need to watch a lot of this on the VOD, but a portion of it will be available for me to watch while I'm at work. So I'm going to have to really stagger how I watch some of this stuff, because I'm going to want to watch the parts I can watch live. Mm-hmm. And then when I get home, I'll watch the stuff that I missed overnight. So, because it's not going to start until 9 p.m. our time. But these are 19-hour sessions. So I'm excited to see I'm really excited to just see the Masters Tour. Now, right now, from what I've seen in the media, Masters Tour Soul is still on specialist format.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be with the new card, so you're probably going to see a lot of singleton decks. The thing about singleton decks that's really, really interesting is we haven't really seen specialists in a singleton format.
That's true.
So in singleton, while it really spreads this deck out to fill 30 different cards, it leaves room for tech cards because there's a lot of cards in there that aren't highly impactful that are just put in there to get to 30 cards. So you might see this might be the best specialist, which may be why they haven't implemented the new changes in the Masters Tour yet, because they want to see how specialist works in the Masters Tour while simultaneously looking at the new Conquest with the Shield format in Grandmaster so they can see them side by side. I think this is actually very intelligent by Hearthstone Esports because they can compare the feeling in the same meta from both sets of tournaments. So I'm really excited to see how this goes because I am a fighter for specialists. I want it to be more interesting, and maybe it's the meta that was boring and not necessarily specialist.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I'm actually looking forward to watching a tournament for a change. I'm looking forward to see how these new cards impact it. So it'll be a lot of fun. This week's Tavern Brawl is the Standard Brawliseum. So welcome back, Gladiator. Build a deck for standard format this time and compete for glorious prizes. Have you played the Tavern Brawl this week?
Yeah, I did one. I got 4 wins. Oh, actually, I did 2. I got 4 wins and I got 2 wins. It's the Standard Brawliseums are always real on the fence for me. I love playing competitively. But I'll play against somebody who looks like they're playing just straight basic deck. Like they just started Hearthstone. Then I'll play somebody who has every single collection. And maybe that's kind of like it would feel at an open tournament. But it's so hard to know what you're going to go against. It's not like the ladder where you have your rank and people at your rank are similar collections as you. Brawliseum, you never know what they're going to have, and that goes adversely. I'm somebody with a high collection. Somebody with a low collection might get matched against me and go, "Wow, this guy played 6-7 legendaries. I hate this format." So for me, that's the only downfall on it, and probably why I don't do very well at it because I like to predict what's happening in my little pocket of players. I can't do that in Brawliseum, where I can to a point on the ladder. But I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fun. The only thing that's rough for me is when they come out a week after the set comes out, and I have no gold to invest into it. And if I do invest 150 gold, I feel like, what if I don't do well and I could have bought 2 packs instead, or 3 packs instead of running 2 runs. So that's where it hits me hard. I'll enjoy Brawliseum later when I've stockpiled some gold. Joe Mag did answer a question on Twitter from Wicked Good, though. Wicked Good asked if this is going to be the normal cadence that Tavern Brawl, the Brawliseums are going to come out right after a set's released. And he said that right now, yes, but that may change. Gotcha. So it's nice to know that Joe Mag and the Tavern Brawl team has like a cadence that they like to go through to see certain type of brawls during certain times, and because that's normalcy, and I like normalcy and things like that.
Yeah, I agree. I look forward to seeing what else Joe Mag and the team have lined up for us, though, in the future.
I will say this: Joe Mag is probably one of the biggest gems that Hearthstone has on their team, and I'm gonna transition into something that's not in the show notes. I want to give a huge congratulations to.
I was just fixing to add this in
to friend of the show that just recently announced that they are stepping back from casting full time to focus on other parts of their life, and it's a friend of a show, Cora. It's Cora Songbird Georgiou. You might know her as Hearthstone caster. Now, she says she may still be doing TESPA. She doesn't know yet. That hasn't come across. But the reason this is happening is because she has been accepted and hired on as final design team for Hearthstone.
Be working there with old Chalky.
I am super, super, super happy for her. And with people like Joe Mag,
yeah,
this is making that Hearthstone team have a lot of heart again. Because I know Cora has nothing but heart for the game. Chalky has always had heart for the game. And while the community aspect of the team hasn't been where we wanted it to be, the developmental side has definitely done a good job, and she is a amazing addition to the team, and I wish her great luck.
Yeah, I was super excited to hear this on Twitter this week, and yeah, absolutely nothing but the best for Cora. She deserves it. She's worked hard for it, and I was excited for this. So, yeah, congratulations, Cora, from all of us. All right, that brings us to this week's deck list, and as we talked about a little earlier in the show, we are going with Kripp's Zoo Quest Priest. So I will run down the deck list. I've not actually had a chance to play this yet, so I'll be learning with you guys as we play. I know Zerotio has a few games under his belt with it, so I'm going to run down the deck list and I'll turn it over to him to kind of walk us through how the deck plays, and then we'll get a few games in with it. So, all right, the deck list is as follows. The new quest, Priest Quest, Activate the Obelisk. Then you've got 2 Northshire Cleric, 2 Power Word Shield, 2 Dead Ringer, 2 Evil Conscriptors, 2 Extra Arms, 2 Grand Mummies, 2 Holy Ripples, 2 Neferset Ritualists, 2 Serpent Eggs, 1 Acolyte of Pain, 2 History Buff, 2 Wretched Reclaimer, 2 Hinch Clan Shade Quill. Then you have the other new Priest Legendary, High Priest Amet. You got 2 Psychopomps, and that other card we were talking about earlier in the show that is just a staple, Ziliax. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how this deck plays there, Zerotio?
So this deck plays like a zoo deck. The difference is while you're putting lots of threats on the board that they have to deal with, you're also putting a lot of soft taunt targets on the board. They want to get rid of those Grand Mummies, but not with other things on the board. The Serpent Eggs pose a problem. History Buff was a card that I really didn't expect to like. I expected to be one of the first cuts I make, and man, is it awesome. It's amazing. I really, really like that card in here. It's another soft taunt. They feel they have to get rid of it. It's not real big into the whole combo base like a lot of the other quests are, where you're getting a bunch of big minions and trying to interfire. You're just getting solid minions on the board. Keep your healing up. Eventually you get into the quest reward where you can start buffing those minions. That's why you don't have a lot of buffs other than extra arms in here. And that's just mainly to keep your minions alive and fighting for the board. But really, it's just you're getting good value trades and getting face when you can, chipping away that damage. It is a fun deck. I'm doing pretty well with it. Zoo is in a good spot right now. It's really a solid include for any player out there that's having trouble. And it doesn't have a lot of legendaries. Obviously, it has the 2 new legendaries. But Ziliax is something a lot of people have in their collection.
Right.
So it's not too hard to craft this on a budget if you're opening packs up. And honestly, I don't feel as if High Priest Emmet is all that important in the deck and can probably be cut if you don't have it. And even the quests could be cut for some more quality minions. So this is definitely a deck that can be adjusted based on your budget and your collection of cards.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I look forward to checking this out. Like I said, I have the Priest Quest. I don't have Amet, so maybe as we play, we can discuss some possible options for replacement. But yeah, let's do this. So if you're joining us on Twitch or YouTube, please stay tuned for the live play portion of our show. If you are listening via the audio podcast, we'd like to thank you for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at HeroPower_cast. And you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/ECMMOGamers or on our website at HeroPowerHS.com. If you enjoy the show and you'd like to help support and improve it, you can do so by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/HeroPower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power if you're playing the Druid quest. Wait, is that right?
Alrighty, so let's I gotta clear some quests.
That's gonna throw people off at the end of the show. They're going, wait, what?
What? Yeah, I know, right?
Don't forget to use your power.
Yeah. So, alright, well, I'm going to assume you're driving since I don't have all the cards to build this yet.
I don't even have the deck built. No, just kidding. Running, I gotta wade through my 18 decks here. We need more deck slots. What is going on?
Oh, here we go. Only took 6 years. Here we go.
Oh no, I might not be smart enough to handle 27 deck slots. Too soon. Okay. All right. So Grip Zoo. I have a lot of decks called Grip Zoo, but this is the only priest. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
all right.
There you go. All right. So you are searching for an opponent, I see.
Yep. And I found Arnold Palmer's in Diet.
Oh, nice.
I can go back to drinking Arnold Palmer's.
Excellent. All right. Says you're doing battle and play mode, but cannot spectate you.
Make sure I don't have it. Yeah, I had it turned off.
There we go.
We haven't done this in a while, man.
The spectate boss is hard enough when you don't even have spectate turned on.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while, obviously, since I was in THL. I wonder why I haven't had people spectating my games like normal.
All right, so first we got a warlock up first.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, I like keeping the Serpent Egg just to put a threat down early. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to throw the Psycho Pump and the Power Word Shield and just keep the quest and Serpent Egg.
Okay.
Because if we draw into the Wretched Reclaimer, that's a huge turn.
Okay.
And we did!
Nice.
And we got extra arms for the second Serpent Egg.
So, if you're not familiar, Wretched Reclaimer says Battlecry, destroy a friendly minion, then return it to life with full health.
Wait, what just happened?
Turn one Leopardome.
So
welcome to 2014.
Yeah, this is actually pretty good for us because he's going to concentrate on a lot of chip damage,
yeah,
giving us chances to heal.
That is true.
This is rank 4. This guy has fought out of rank 5.
So this is a traditional Warlock Zoo.
Oh my gosh. Holy Ripple's going to be so good here. So I'm just going to play the Serpent Egg because we got time.
Yes.
And I'm hoping he invests more 1 health minions onto the board to empower our Holy Ripple even more. Holy Ripple, the tastiest of the ripples. I'm a Fudge Ripple man myself.
Yeah.
But, how long can I get that joke to keep going? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure we will be working it in until at least December when the new set comes out.
So
the next new set.
I'm not too threatened by these minions yet because there's no lackeys. And he did point something at the Abusive Sergeant, and I think it's probably another buff, maybe another Abusive Sergeant, and he's waiting. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this egg now with the Wretched Reclaimer.
Okay.
Just because he's not threatened me at 24 yet, and I'm going to heal for a decent bit. I've got the extra arms to do more with that egg.
Oh! Now does he have the sacrifice a minion, give all other minions? Nope.
Oh, Sea Giant. That kind of hurts.
Yeah.
But this is manageable still.
So I think we ripple here, right?
Yeah. The question is, do we trade into the Voidwalker first? I think we do. Just to get some chip damage. Ooh, second Holy Ripple is going to be strong later. Okay, so
Well, now, another thing to think about is we could Acolyte Coin Ripple and deal 1 damage to all enemies. Okay, so it only affects enemies. Yeah,
it only affects enemies. That won't help.
No,
only if we had something like a Wild Pyro, which this deck doesn't. So I'm going to trade into the 1/3 first because this will heal the Wretched Reclaimer too.
Right.
So I'll do the Holy Ripple.
You do the Holy Ripple and you turn yourself about. That's what it's all about.
I think I go ahead and put extra arms on the egg and go face.
Okay.
It's not enough to kill the giant now, but if he invests a bunch of 1 health minions again next turn, we can pretty much do the same thing and then trade into the sea giant.
Yes.
Again, 8 damage is a lot, but we need to be damaged for our quest anyways. Here we go.
Destroy it. Add 2 lackeys.
Please play both lackeys. Play both lackeys. Yes. Now he's probably going to trade into our Reclaimer, which is going to be kind of bad for us. Wow. So we can. Oh, well, that's good. Does that change things? I think it does. I think we just Ziliax double trade because that's 8 damage. I'm looking for a possible other line. I mean, obviously we can more arms, double trade, and ripple, but we don't heal for as much.
Right.
Yeah, I like Ziliax in full trade. And this is the biggest problem with Zoo is I think he's out of gas now. I think he pretty much exhausted all of his resources.
See if he taps.
He has tap.
Yep, he's going to tap.
He has tap, which tells me he doesn't have a lot of...
Now, if he can't kill Ziliax, we just drop more arms on it.
And keep healing.
There it goes. There's the silence.
That's fine.
Give it +1 rush. Okay, that's fine. So now...
So I really want to develop that Amet. Maybe we just go the Amet and trade and heal our face.
I don't hate that.
And then next turn, if he can't get rid of the Amet, which I can't imagine a way he does. I mean, it's even out of Leroy range.
Yeah.
And at this point, we need to stay out of Leroy range. We can Acolyte, an Acolyte with 7 health. Ugh. Now, the way a lot of people do with Amet, they just chip away on the damage on it, because if it's damaged... Oh.
So
I'm going to trade into the 1/3.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit this here.
Yeah.
I'm going to ripple.
Okay.
Then I think I just throw down Grand Mummy and Acolyte of Pain. I'm happy.
So too.
I'm happy at 15 health.
Yeah.
These are both 1/7s. And I think he's locked out. Another thing is, if they start chipping down on Amet to make the buff less, you can never set Ritual and get a huge head start on your quest.
Yeah.
He's digging. He is digging.
Yeah, he's looking for something.
I don't hate this deck. I just think the quality of minions isn't that great. Oh, history buff's so good.
All right, so trade with the Acolyte?
Yeah. We'll start there.
Now we've just got options.
Yeah, I'm going to throw history buff down.
Uh-huh.
And Dead Ringer and heal our face. We don't need to throw the more arms down yet. We're not
No.
really worried about killing our opponent. It's all about just slowly grinding them away.
Yep. And we are currently at 11 of 15, so 2 more turns to complete our quest.
We won't get there. We're about to get lethal. Yeah.
Yep.
He told you.
All right, game
That was
1 in
a
the
very-
books.
So I like the way he was going with that, but at the same time, I'm not understanding some of the the gnomes. I didn't understand them in there.
I think it was just for the burst damage when it dies. He's just trying to burn you down as fast as possible.
Maybe he didn't draw his magic carpet, and that's what he needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the quest, Holy Ripple, and Extra Arms. I think we just keep the quest.
Okay.
We're dealing with another priest, so they're probably not going to put a lot of stuff down that has 1 health. The Holy Ripple is kind of one of those cards that I'm not sure if I like it or not. It only heals for 1 on each minion in your face. It doesn't incrementally go up.
Okay.
Well, we're going to quest for turn 1.
We're going to pass, and they're going to quest turn 1.
So, Grand Mummy, I don't always like just throwing it naked on 2,
No.
unless I have something like a Wretched Reclaimer or Psycho Pump to bring it back, things like that.
Coin Injured Tolvir, turn 1.
So this is probably going to be really rough because they are probably combo, which can burst us out.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to Grand Mummy to give him something to pump into. And then it gives me the option to heal and Power Word Shield it next turn.
Yeah.
I can't imagine him getting rid of both that and the Reborn. Okay, there's his Power Word Shield. It's good to see 1 early. He's drawing, which tells me he is probably combo if he's trying to draw. Ooh, silence. Now that's not bad. I'd rather him silence that than silence something else.
Do we just play the Neferset as a tempo?
I hate that play, but I think that's probably the best. We need
Hit
to
it
give
with Power Word Shield and draw?
Yeah, I'm fine with that because we can Psycho Pump next round. And since he silenced it, we'll get the full version. We won't risk getting the Reborn version.
Right.
So that actually helped us in that aspect. Cleric, okay, he's drawing. This is kind of a tough matchup for us, which is one of the reasons why I stopped playing the deck for a bit, because I was running into a lot of combo based. Now, the fact he's not running the quest is questionable.
Uh-huh.
I have seen singleton versions of Priest. I don't know if this is one.
So, what do you think of running a single copy of, oh gosh, what's the name of the card? Hang on, I'll have to look it up.
I am going to Psycho Pump this turn, though. Do I Psycho Pump or just load up the board? I think I'll just load up the board right now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just throw out these 2 minions. And then I'm going to value trade to kind of keep its health in check a little bit. He can already heal it to draw a card, so I'm not worried about that. It only opens up Circle of Healing for additional drawing, and that's something I'm willing to risk.
So,
right
what do you think about something like Mossy Horror?
Mossy Horror wouldn't be bad. It does affect our boards significantly, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of our minions are 1 and 2 attack, too. Is Mossy Horror still in Standard?
It's in Witchwood, so...
Okay. So it is.
Yeah, until March.
It's a good thought. Again, right now I'm just using stock lists, and I'll probably adjust. Probably getting into next week, I'll start making my own versions of these decks.
Right, right.
Leave the heavy lifting up to guys like Kripp and Tice.
There's the Divine Spirit.
So I'm glad I did hit it. Amit, I think I Ziliax and just start chipping away on this because I don't want him to get an Inner Fire or Topsy Turvy off on it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let's copy it on here to get more healing. I'm gonna trade the Grand Mummy first and hope the buff lands on the Dead Ringer.
Okay. And it does.
And I'm going to go ahead and value this too. I'm basically keeping this as low as possible to get the least amount of value out of Inner Fire.
Right.
Right now, if he heals it normally, he can get it up to 5/5.
Unless he has a greater healing potion or whatever it is that heals for 12.
Well, the greater healing potion's not in the meta right now.
Oh, is it not? Okay.
He was silent. Second silent, so he's not a Highlander.
Yep. How's he on cards? So he's got 17 cards left.
Yeah. He is in a solid position. Do I just throw down the
High Priest and Evil Conscriptor?
Yeah, I think drawing a 2-cost minion decided that for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then I have the Psycho Pump for next turn. Maybe I could hit the Amit if he kills it, which I can't imagine him not trying to kill it. I got 10 more damage I need to heal.
Yeah.
This is probably not a win for us, but I'd like to see how far we can go. Oh, he's looking at trading, which means he probably doesn't have a lot of spells or enough spells.
So he's going to heal before he casts.
I'm not sure if he knows what he wants to do yet.
Topsy-turvy.
Oh, he's using one of his pieces. I'm okay with this. I'm actually really okay with this. Because he used a Topsy-turvy.
There's his High Priest.
Uh-huh. So extra arms clears the 2/3. So I'm going to Psycho Pump and pray for Amit.
Okay. Yes!
I'm going to buff up the here and trade. The question is, he used one Divine Spirit, so he only has one Divine Spirit. And Shadow Vision's not in the meta, so he can only get up to 14. Now he can get up to 18 damage. That's his second Power Word Shield, too. He's used one Topsy-Turvy as well.
Correct.
My list only runs one Topsy-Turvy and doesn't run Inner Fire. But again, no, each list is different.
Yeah, I can't believe if he only had no Inner Fires and one Topsy-Turvy, he'd waste it on a defensive play like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't think so either. So I'm going to err on the side that he runs doubles. This is a good game, though. This is a good example of playing from behind with this deck, which you can do.
Yeah.
So basically, at this point, we're going to be prioritizing the highest health minion and getting it down, as well as Amit. Probably Amit first, regardless.
Yeah.
So that value trades into the 3/1. Okay. Oh, so good. So we're going to buff Amit.
Yep.
This won't clear their Amit, but I don't want to leave it up.
Correct.
Like as high a health as it has.
Yeah. So you're going to double trade in.
Double trade in.
And then Neferset Ritualist.
Well, no. I'm not going to Neferset yet.
Okay.
I need to heal my face first, then Neferset.
Why did it matter which order?
Because we should finish the quest, which will reset my hero power to the new one.
Oh, okay. Which leaves you enough mana to cast
mana, so now I can buff the Amet again.
Yes.
Or do... I'm not worried about him doing 22 to us. Am I?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any way he can.
I don't think so either. So we buff Amet. And now, through tempo, we've taken control. Now, we're out of cards in our hand, which is a problem. But I don't think he has answers in his hand. He might have the big silence removal, the plague of death.
Yeah.
The death. Now that's bad. But I couldn't have planned around the Neferset. Does he have lethal? He has lethal.
Yep.
So I should have healed face. Yep, I should have healed face. Oh well. Lessons learned.
Yep.
If I would have healed face, I would have been out. But then again, he could have just done that, and I wouldn't have been able to kill the Neferset. So, that was a very good game.
That was a good game, yeah.
And that's another thing I like about new sets is even in losses, you can learn about the cards and learn, ways you would do it or change your deck or lines of play. And that's what excites me about this game. This is the most exciting part of Hearthstone for me.
Right.
Is not feeling like I played the same cards for 3 months and made dumb mistakes. I made dumb mistakes because I don't know the cards yet. And so I'm learning. Please, I hope this guy's playing an aggressive deck with the name Control Boy. That would make me so happy.
All right. So we've got the Quest, the Hinch Clan Shade Quill, the Wretched Reclaimer, and the Power Word Shield.
So I absolutely love Wretched Reclaimer. We have enough small minions. I think I keep it in my hand. So I'm going to activate the Obelisk and Wretched Reclaimer and hope I draw into a 2-drop.
Okay.
I love Wretched Reclaimer. It's such a good card. We got an Evil
Conscriptor. Okay.
Because it just gives you value onto your death rattles.
Yeah.
Oh, and followed by Psycho Pump.
Yeah.
Curve is beautiful. Curve is beautiful. So we quested on turn 1 in
Dead Ringer.
Question: do we value drawing into a neck before getting a lackey? And I think we do. But he can just ping away the Dead Ringer's the problem. So for that reason, I think I Evil Conscriptor.
Okay. I can get behind
If
that.
I didn't have the Reclaimer in my hand, I would
just throw out the Dead Ringer and force him to waste his turn hero powering.
Yeah, and then I could coin Psycho Pump it. He pings face because he can't clear it. Oh, that changes things.
So, do we Serpent Egg?
I think
coin
Serpent Egg
Dead Ringer and just build a board?
I think so. I mean, this is Zoo after all, right?
Right.
Positioning isn't too important in the meta right now. There's not a lot of pinpoint AoE. He just bounced over the Serpent Egg like, what is this guy doing? Serpent Egg? Why would you play Serpent Egg?
And there's the hero power.
Ooh. So I can go to face, getting him down by 4. The thing about Hinch Clan Shade Quill is when you heal your opponent when it dies, it counts towards your quest.
Mm-hmm.
I almost think we threaten and just put it on the board now. Because I think the Wretched Reclaimer floats us a mana, and I'd rather just put pressure.
Okay. Next turn, we can Wretched Reclaimer hero power to heal ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's the Pocket Galaxy.
I love Pocket Galaxy turns because that means they do nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just go face.
Yep.
We Wretched Reclaimer the egg, and heal our face.
Yep.
And now this is where he starts stalling. He's going to freeze the board as much as he can. He's going to put huge minions down. We don't have a lot when it comes into big removal. We pretty much have to whittle away at things, which is also another drawback of this deck. It isn't the perfect deck, but it's a good deck.
All right.
So if we Psycho Pump, we're guaranteed to get either
The Dead Ringer or the Wretched Reclaimer.
Yeah, because we had Dead Ringer die. That's right. I think we buff the Conscriptor and trade there.
I can see that's good. Okay.
Okay, we guess it's Dead Ringer. I don't want to overload too much on the board. So I think we just heal and go face and leave it.
Yep, I agree.
And at this point, if he does get rid of the Shade Quill, that'll put us up 5 more on our ticks, leaving us 6 to go. So we're not in a bad spot. Lizard, okay.
Alexstrasza.
So let's see here. How close can we get on our quest? Pretty close. If we throw down the Never Set on between the egg and the Shade Quill.
You think so? I was thinking between the Conscript and the Serpent.
We could do that too, yeah. It doesn't help us for Flame
2,
Strike.
3, 4, 5. What's its max health?
It's
2,
a
4.
now.
Okay. So 3.
I don't hate that. Let's throw the history buff down first, though.
Okay.
We got to heal our face.
Yes.
We might be dead.
That's true.
We might be dead. But let's see where we go here. We got 4 more to our quest is completed, which we can do this turn if he doesn't kill us. Okay. He's playing a passive draw turn, which I'm okay with. That's probably the most threatening, so he's probably right there. Yeah, why would you I wouldn't kill the Shade Quill if you were going to just freeze it.
Right.
So I'm gonna value trade. I'm gonna trade into the Bone Wraith with 3/4 and the 2/3 to start.
Okay.
And then I will Holy Ripple. Okay. That should complete our quest.
Yep.
Gonna buff up the Conscriptor. The question is, do I go ahead and actually, if I buff up, I want to buff up the egg, don't I?
You're gonna trade the history buff into the Luna?
No, because I gotta kill Alexstrasza.
Okay.
So let's buff the egg. Let's do 1 more Holy Ripple. And then history buff, egg, and now we can clear Luna.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to throw down the Dead Ringer. Probably should have played the Dead Ringer first. But I didn't math it out all the way.
There's Caligos.
Now we probably need to start really pressuring him.
If
How
it's a
close are we to
free,
lethal?
if it's a free, I was gonna say if he gets a free pyroblast, that's game.
Yeah. He clearly didn't. He's going to go Rush and Wind Fury?
Rush and Wind Fury. Yep.
That's what I would do. Yeah, this is rough. We're probably going to have to heal our face.
Yes, I'm thinking trade the 2/2 into the 6/1.
Yeah, that has to happen.
See what we get.
So I'm going to 2 cost. So let's Psycho Pump. See what we get off the Psycho Pump.
Yeah.
Don't hate it. Heal our face. I hate leaving up the Caligos, but I don't think I have a choice. I'm going to see. We are in Flame Strike range. Gonna buff up the history buff.
Yeah.
And then I think I just play one of the Grand Mummies.
I think so too.
Yeah, we're not in a great spot, but we still have good pressure on the board. He has to keep freezing this board.
Yes.
He got lucky getting that Cone of Cold off of Caligos. I think we might have had close to lethal with the buff. Because we're showing 17 right now. We got lethal on board.
Yep.
He's going to heal by 5 with that. If he kills it. So it's probably a Frostbolt, but he's prioritizing to see if he wants to spend a higher cost spell. Nope. Okay. Okay, he's stacking his Snip Snaps. Probably going to do the last Snip Snap. Oh, he's stacking them all. That surprises me. Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah. That's bad.
So we got 10 on board, 13 with the hero power. I don't see us getting out of this.
No, 12. He's got 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 on board.
So if we cleared one minion,
And that one minion would have to be Deathwing.
yeah, it'd have to be Deathwing. No, we can.
Before you run that in, though...
Play Almet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when it comes back, let's trade her first.
Yes.
We need to. No, I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got the math already. But I will trade her now, just for value. Then let's just unload.
Yep, just fill her up.
We're probably still dead. I mean, we're dead at 2 damage, right? 4 damage, right?
4 damage. Yeah, he's got to come out with 4 damage. So if he's got a fireball, yes.
Fireball, Pyroblast, a sneeze. There we go.
Yeah.
All good.
1 and
This
1.
is still a fun deck. Enjoy it a lot.
Yep.
Oh
wait, we're not 1 and 1. We're 1 and 2, right?
1 and 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
1 and 2.
All right.
That's the deck, yeah. And I finished my quest. Sweet.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's a lot of. I love the quest priest.
Yeah, it's a
It
lot.
is so much fun.
And this deck plays differently than Priest has ever really played. Normally you're not a quick minion deck, and we saw how it worked against the Zoo. Obviously, I think it was a subpar Zoo, and right now I think with the deck I'm not doing great with it, but I am I'm right at 50% with it. So it obviously, I make some changes, possibly put in some silence, maybe put in some late end board clears, and maybe we can make something happen. Maybe it needs a mass resurrection. I don't know.
Right.
But maybe with a little bit of tweak, we can put it above that 50% win rate.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I'm 6-6 with it.
Well, there you go, guys. If you have any questions or comments about the show, please email us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you haven't done so already, and give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. For more details about our Patreon, be sure to check out patreon.com/heropower. Until next week, good gaming.
Bye, guys.